Hey guys, it's Davin here with the House Hacker Tribe, and today we're going to be going over how to charge your roommate's rent. Now, this is a really touchy subject, and there's only three main ways to do it, but we're going to go into why some ways are really bad and some ways are probably a little bit better. So let's jump right into the first way to split costs with your roommates. Now, there's discounts, there's market value, and then there's a premium, which is above market value. And so we're gonna go into all of these threes, but let's go into the least favorite first, which is the discount. Now, I do not like the discount, mainly because if you have a roommate, there's either one of two situations where you're picking the roommate and charging them rent. Either you have a lease on a property where you're allowed to sublet. Hopefully you're not doing this illegally. If not, this is not the video for you because I'm not going to teach you how to do that illegally. But hopefully you have a lease where you're allowed to sublet, or you put a down payment on a house, and in which case you have an investment into the property and you own the property. And as the market value goes up and down, you take on that risk, right? And so why would you give somebody a discount when you're the one taking on the risk? And what I mean by the discount is splitting costs, right? So for example, let's just say the payment every month is $900 per month, and you've got 3 rooms, and so the roommates say, hey, look, let's split this 3 ways, and we each pay $300 a month. That might sound great and dandy, but what happens when the sink breaks, right? What happens when something goes wrong? Who's the owner, right? The owner has to foot that bill. So I would only give a discount if the other roommates had some skin in the game. Now, what if we flip to the other side where we have a lease, and you're responsible for the entire lease payment no matter what? So someone who moved in 2 months late, they got the benefit of not having to pay 2 months of the lease at the full price amount. They got to just walk in and start splitting the bill. That doesn't seem fair because you have to cover some of those vacancy costs if you're the one on the main lease and you've got someone else just moving in, renting a room from you. So you always have to charge some level of a premium, but you don't necessarily have to charge full price. Just make sure if you're giving a discount from market value that there's some level of skin in the game and some incentive for your roommates to really care about the place and make sure that they are leaving and entering on the best terms. So now that we've got the discount out of the way, let's go into market value, which is probably one of my favorite ways of charging roommates. Now, market value simply just means you go on Craigslist and you see how much are people willing to pay for a room. And if people are willing to pay $700 for a room, then that's what you charge, whether they're friends, a family, or a stranger. And this is probably, like I said, the best way because it's the most fair. Hey, look, just because my mortgage payment is really high because I have a bad loan program, that shouldn't affect my roommates. And if the market value goes up and I get a return on investment one day, well, that was the benefit of the risk I took as being the owner. So that's why market value is so important, because tenants don't typically care if your house goes down in value. They only care if things go up in price. So generally speaking, you want to charge market value because it's the most fair for the relationship between the tenant and the owner of the property. Now, if you are on a main lease, like I said, you have the main lease and if you're allowed to sublet on this lease and you're charging market value, that's a great way because it actually just shows like, hey, look, I'm in charge. I'm the one who lives here day in and day out, year round, and you might be here temporarily. And so if you're going to be in my house temporarily, you're going to pay what you would pay anywhere else, right? It comes, people are going to come and go, and you just understand that, hey, look, I'm going to, be paying less some months and more other months, and it's going to kind of average out with my risks. So market value is a great way to kind of take back some of the risks that you would normally pay from being the person that's responsible and either having the lease every single year, or you're the responsible homeowner who actually has an investment into the property. Now let's go into the last way, which is the premium. And this is probably my second favorite. Now, the reason why it's my second favorite is because there is some work and there is some effort into it that you're going to have to put in, but that effort is rewarded with extra money. So you're essentially working for some money. Now, a way to get a premium is, let's just say you're an artist and you own a house that has 5 rooms, you live in one and rent out the other 4 to other artists. You're creating a like-minded living situation that's providing value to these people above and beyond what they could experience somewhere else, right? this might be a great way to charge a premium. And maybe what you do is you offer some other incentives that artists might need or want or like in order to attract the community that you want to attract. Maybe you offer free breakfast every morning or something that just gives that little extra bonus of why you should live with me instead of somewhere else. Now, you don't just have to be an artist to do this. You could be a business person, you could be a volunteer organization, you could be whatever type of person you want to be. And the reason why I really like this method is because it actually ties in one of my favorite methods for finding roommates and tenants, like what we saw in the last video. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch my #1 tip to picking your first tenant or roommate, which is to have something in common with your tenants. So this is the reason why charging a premium might actually be my second favorite way. Now, why is it not my first favorite way? Mainly because you do have to put in extra effort. And so you have to think about how much time are you spending and how much extra money are you getting. So you're essentially working for your money versus where you're just paying market value. Your money's working for you. You're taking some financial risks and you're getting some financial return. There's no extra time in and out of your day. But on the premium side, you are gonna have to put in some extra effort into your home to be able to attract someone who's willing to pay above market value. And on the discount, the reason why I least like that is because you are taking risks with your finances and you are not being rewarded for that, but it still has the same benefit as just charging market value, which is it doesn't take much of your time. So hopefully you understand the 3 main ways to charge your roommates. If you want to know how to find out the market value for a rent, you can honestly call a real estate agent. Most of them should know, or even just a really good property manager. However, they might not have your best interest in mind if you don't trust them very well. So make sure you stay tuned for next week where I tell you how to figure out the market value for rents. Thank you and have a great day.